What's going on today, guys? Primal Sabbath here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the last of the Beast Machine's cast characters, and that's going to be the Blast Punch Optimus Primal. This was, I want to say, released later on in the Beast Machines line. I know for sure this is what Takara used for the Beast Wars Returns line in Japan. There are no differences, unfortunately. Would have been great if they could have kind of done away with some of this orange translucent and made it, more show accurate with some of this kind of brownish grayish plastic. You can see there's a nice kind of metallic blue fade there on the shoulders, but if we could have got that kind of all around, that would have been great. If you want a kind of more accurate version, you would go after the Robots in Disguise. I think it was a Supreme class, or maybe it was an Ultra class. I'm not 100% sure. Optimus Primal, which was what they used for the absolute most show accurate version in the Encore line. They used that big one, and they gave him even more of a show accurate deco. So, like I said, personally, I think that one's just a little bit too big. I mean, it would scale well with, I feel, the Night Scream from Beast Machines and the Supreme Class Cheetor and even the Rat Trap, but that kind of leaves Silverbolt and Black Arachnia sort of being way out of scale. That said, I do kind of dig this. Like, nothing's going to scale with that Night Scream other than the bigger ones. So, overall, it's a pretty fun toy. You got a pretty cool gimmick here where you see this little blue button. You press down on it, and he can kind of talk, I guess. He's got these just dead white eyes. It's kind of hard to see in there, but there we go. Get some light in there, but there's nothing in there as far as, like, because I want to say his eyes were like blue in the show or something like that. But you got some nice kind of fur detailing here, but again, no paint, and just kind of basic sculpting details. The monkey mode is not terrible at all. It's definitely a step up from the little deluxe, which I had at one point and have no intention on owning again. So there is that. There will be no review of that thing. But other than that, he is kind of gimmick ridden. You see there's this missile. I'm just kind of keeping it off to the side for whenever I get him into robot mode, because I feel like that's where it counts the most. But other than that, not a whole lot going on in the monkey mode. You can kind of get, some different poses out of him. You can get him standing straight up if you want to. Me personally, I definitely prefer the kind of hunched over mode. Hunched over pose, I guess, if he's in this mode, because that's definitely how he was on the show. But other than that, like I said, this is probably the best Optimus Primal figure, in my opinion, in the line. It has a gimmick, but it's not as bad as, say, the Air Attack version. Because that one, I think I reviewed it, the blue and red version, the Amazon, the Year of the Monkey one. You had to, like, pull back on the arm. It was just had too much nonsense in it for me. I'm sure it was fun for some people, but not quite for me. So let's get this guy into robot mode, and then we will wrap things up there and do like a final comparison with all the Maximals from the show. All right, so here he is in his robot mode. One thing I will go ahead and say, I forgot to transform these properly in beast mode, but essentially to get the beast mode configuration, this is how they would need to be flipped. You can kind of see, like, there's definitely more of a organic kind of feel there to the fingers. I don't know if I can get that to focus in. There you go. So that's what it's supposed to be like for beast mode, and it's supposed to be the blue on the outside. Again, same with that, but like I said, I had it totally backwards. So robot mode, you can tell by the kind of robotic looking fingers, but overall he is a techno-organic gorilla. So there's that. This missile is going to fit in here like this. Now, this one, I've probably exhausted it just from a bunch of just usages, but you basically kind of prime it up this way. And I don't know, like, I think this piece is supposed to spin around, but there you go. You press the button, and it doesn't quite go on the way on mine, but it's supposed to spin around, and you can see it kind of launch the missile. That's why they call him Blast Punch Primal. Let's see, okay, all the way back around. There we go. Or, yeah, that's why they call him Blast Punch Primal, because he punches. There is no elbow, it's just kind of stuck molded like this because of the gimmick, which is unfortunate. And you can see barely, maybe, that there is a maximal spark crystal in there. I believe it's painted red. And this translucent orange is probably coming off a little bit darker on camera than what it is in person. So just kind of keep that in mind. But this is where the figure would have really benefited from just some more paint. I wish they would have used this for the Encore line. Like, honestly, I get it. Like, Japan didn't have the bigger one released at all. So that kind of, I think, made the most sense for Takara Tomy in that regard. But if they could have just reissued this, like I said, with with some of this, at least this color, just kind of on this main body and at least the upper arms, they probably could have left this translucent orange either way. But he also has something else that's pretty cool. You can unfold that and pull down the jetpacks, which he uses in the show. I typically just display them like this, which is awesome. Now, let's get into problems. You can kind of see one right now. He doesn't have the best feet, and it's because he doesn't really have ankle rockers. You can kind of get them positioned that way, but if you want to go with like any kind of crazy A stances, you kind of have to line it up just right, because again, like, he also doesn't have heels, and it kind of curves off back here. So the back weight's going to cause him to fall over. So, and no like thigh swivel or anything like that. So like, you really can't get too much in the way of like dynamic posing out of this guy. But just kind of standing on the shelf looking heroic. He does a pretty good job at that. I do like the head sculpt. Again, I just don't like the color on it. But it is very accurate to the show as far as like sculpt goes. You do get some decent paintwork on it. Again, this toy would benefit from having a properly colored reissue with the right paint apps and right molded plastic and things of that sort. So overall, like I said, I think it's going to be the best for your main line like Beast Machines display. So that said, let's go ahead and get some of these figures in here for a comparison. I'm trying to make sure I got Cheetor all extended properly to where he'll stand with no issues. So there's Cheetor and Black Arachnia. Again, I believe that the Takara one, when, if I ever find it, is going to be the proper version of that to kind of go with. And let's see, I need to, trying to get Silverbolt here to stand. Finally went and dug him out. Let's, come on now. Alright, there is Silverbolt and Wheels. And carefully, so I don't crumble it in my hands, there's Night Scream. He can just kind of lean back on his little things, I guess. So there is your maximal cast. Definitely super out of scale, but doesn't look awful. Very colorful, which is something I really did like about Beast Machines, or Beast Wars rather, was that when you kind of had the full cast, there was just a wide range of different colors. It was just a distinguished color palette, and they all looked good in that own right. Like, this ideally again would be the pink one, so like the Silverbolt wouldn't really clash with it. Or I would have the American Silverbolt, which is like all red and orange and yellow and stuff like that. So you would have kind of gotten a little bit of a difference there. So overall, I dig it, man. Like, it's a shame that the Night Scream is used as the measuring stick of how bad Beast Machines was, when really he's kind of an outlier. There aren't, I wouldn't say there's a bunch of overwhelming figures in Beast Machines, but if you give 5 out of 6 of these a shot, I think you'd have a lot of fun, especially with Rat Trap. I feel like Rat Trap is underrated just because of how he was in the show, and he doesn't have proper hands or anything like that. The Black Arachne is fun. The Silverbolt is a fun toy. That Cheetor is a fun figure, as is the Primal. Just again, your mileage is going to vary on it, but don't go based off of like what other people say by any stretch, of the imagination. So let's try to back it up a little bit more here, get everything in shot. So there you have it. I'll be working on the Viacons next. I think I have all of them now, so shouldn't have any issues running into to doing that. There's a few I'm going to try to get to kind of have on the way in between now and then, some of the Takara versions. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. If you guys enjoyed these videos, please leave a like and comment. Hopefully you have. Hopefully it's kind of given you a better look into Beast Machines and that it's not all bad. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.